Hello, thanks for watching School of the American Rifle Tech video. Today I'm going to cover rather quickly a rather obscure gauge that I find extremely useful for servicing the M16 and AR15. This is a Mark Brown Customs gas tube gauge. They're sold by Brownells. I looked at them in their catalog for several years when I was working as a gunsmith and always wondered what they were for. They didn't really go into detail on Brownells' website or in their catalogs about how they're used, just called it a gas tube gauge. So one day I decided to take a gamble and I purchased them. Liked them so much I purchased a second one in case they stopped making them. But what it does is it measures the flange, or the flared portion at the back of the gas tube, the portion that seals against the carrier key or gas key. So on a new one you can see that it's evenly flared all the way around, and if you were to use the gauge you can see that it has a line inscribed in it right there. And what it does is you slide this into the upper receiver with the charging handle removed, or you can do it as I'm showing you here, and it essentially goes up to the line. You spin the gauge, and if it doesn't clear that line or come very close to it, you're okay. So those are good. That was 4 different types: carbine, pistol, mid-length, and rifle. They're all brand new. And then these are some older gas tubes that I pulled off of guns that had cycling issues. And all these, you can see that there is a flat portion worn down on each one of them where it's flared. And each one of these will fail the gauge. This one isn't as pronounced. It's flat there, so we'll try this one first. There you go, right past it. You can see that it goes there, but if I spin it ever so slightly, it will clear it. So this one's a little bit fatter. Spin it, boom, right past it. And what it's feeling for is that flat portion that's worn down. There it goes, right past it. Cleared that one easily. And this is one that's bent from a misaligned gas tube, and that one clears as well. The reason this gauge is useful is because if you have a assembled upper receiver, and let's say this barrel was in the upper, and you look, you can see that the flange looks pretty good. You would say, okay, well that looks fine, without having to pull the gas tube out or pull the upper receiver off, which you couldn't do in some cases with the gas tube installed anyway, due to the teeth. Some you can. But if you look at it, you can see that the flange, the flared portion is fine. But if I put the gauge on it, it goes right past it. The reason being is the other side of the gas tube is worn completely smooth. And that's what this gauge detects. So without having to tear down anything, you can use this. Here's an assembled upper. Take the gauge. Let me get a light so you can see. Put the gauge into the upper. You can see it rides right inside the charging handle slot. And just give it a spin. And this one passes. So, pretty neat little gauge. Find it extremely useful. They're always on perpetual back order at Brownells, but if you go on the back order list, they eventually will ship. Go ahead and check one out.